Hello, anybody out there? Hello. Nobody so far, so I'm going to have a drink. I shall. Hi, Nathan. He says, you're not there, Nathan. He says, I've got nobody in. But you're here, aren't you? Cheers, Nathan. Hi, Diane. Yeah, cheers. Only coffee, but cheers. Hi, Trudy. Hi, Chrissy. Oh, God, I've got blurry eyes today, so I'm going to be doing that when I'm trying to read what you're all saying. So you just have to ignore me. Oh dear, I need the eyes testing, I really do. How am I doing? Well, I've calmed down somewhat. Now we've semi-tracked down where the parcel's gone. You know, the parcel I was sending to the US. I'm just praying that they don't send it back to me. I'm praying that they send it to her after it's been through customs. So that's what I'm praying. But we don't know for sure until she gets it, do we? What's happened to my necklace? Something weird's happened along the line. Oh, there's a bit of it, I think. No, something's happened to it. I should have another piece there. Oh, something weird's happened. Is it missing? Is it missing? Is it? Ah, there it is. Hiding. It's gone round the back. I know I should have another piece there. Should have like 3 on either side. No, 4 is it on either side, yeah. I knew there was something wrong. I've had to put my cardigan on. It's gone a bit chilly. Ooh, and it's raining. Yeah, gone a bit chilly and it's raining, and I'm looking rather scruffy today for some unknown reason. Never mind. We can't be glamorous all of the time, can we? Or in my case, we can't be glamorous most of the time. But still. Hi, Amanda. You have to excuse me keep going like that because my eyes have gone blurred today. Can't see a thing. I've got my diabetic eye test on the... Oh, thank you, Diane. I have my eye test on, I think it's the 20th. I've got my letters here. Got a little list, I've got a little list, and none of them be missed. 20th of July, I've got my diabetic eye screening. Oh, and on the 18th, I've got to go about my CPAP machine. Oh, it all happens, doesn't it? Nothing for ages, then it all happens in 2 days. Oh, it's the same with me. Do you like my teeth? £325 they cost me to have them backfilled, so they're no longer jaggy and there's no longer a piece missing. You may not have noticed, but I did because it was catching on my tongue, making my tongue sore. £109 there, £325 there. No wonder I'm broke. Never mind. Never mind. It's only money. Only money. People who say only money are usually the ones who have it, aren't they? But never mind. I don't, so. I'm like the rest of us, you know. One of the poor relations. You've all got them. Well, you've got me. I'm one of those as well. Oh, come on, people. 13 people in the room and only 4 thumbs up. Come on, come on, come on. Ooh, I'm begging again. Ooh, thumbs up, please. Everybody says they do the thumbs up and then nobody ever does. Well, I've got 6 now. So I've got halfway there. Oh, I've got 8. Thank you very much. Thank you, people. As I said before, it makes no difference monetary-wise, but it makes a big difference to raising my profile. And we all know Janet likes to raise her profile. It's about the only thing she's got left to raise. Well, it's actually raided, or it was a minute ago. Yeah, it was. I think it stopped again. It's not been a very nice day. It's been blowing a gale, very, very windy. Absolutely nothing done. Nothing. I sewed the button. I finished sewing up the ends on the purple weight. I changed the buttons on the green one because I didn't like them, and I don't like these either. I don't like these either. I changed the buttons on here. They were supposed to be green when I ordered them online, but of course they've come. Oh, they look more green there on the camera, but they look a bit grey. Oh, hi, Judy. It started raining cats and dogs, yeah. Yeah, I finished that one, as you saw, but I'd changed the buttons on it. And I've just finished the purple one today. This one's a lot bigger. Different pattern, a lot bigger. It's got a much bigger, what do you call them, collar at the back, yeah. And hi, Judy. And that's what it's like. Oh, I can't hold it up. I'll put a picture on Facebook anyway. That's what it's like. And I've got purple buttons on this one. Purple buttons. Yeah, purple is my colour. Definitely my colour. It's quite big actually, and it's quite long. So it'll keep me warm in the winter. Well, not on the sleeves, but it'll keep me warm. I think I've had enough of doing circular waistcoats at the moment now. Hi, Lydia. Yeah, I think I'm circled out a bit now. I think it's time for a break. Although I've got so many odds left. Part balls, bits. Oh. You know, it's either going to be one of those stripy rainbow sweater things. The package, we have tracked it. I got nowhere with Parcel Force, nowhere whatsoever. My friend said, put a message on Twitter. I said, I'm not on Twitter. So I actually joined Twitter. I'm not staying on it, so don't get excited. I joined Twitter and I sent a message at Parcel Force saying, can you tell me where this parcel is? Put the number in and everything. Can you tell me where it is? Can't get any sense. Within 2 hours, I got a message. It's with FedEx. Here's the tracking number. Tracks it with FedEx. FedEx got it to the next town to my lady, yeah, and then said it was undeliverable. I thought, oh God, and it was on its way back to me. I thought, no. So I sent emails to my friend in America, not realizing, of course, that she was in bed because it was like the time difference. Anyway, eventually she got one of them, and I said to her, can you ring FedEx from your end, find out where it is? So she said it got as far as the next town to where she lives, but for some reason or other, it had never gone through customs. It had missed it, it had slipped it, it had done whatever. So that's why it was undeliverable, because it hadn't gone through customs. So they sent it back to customs, which is she's on the west side apparently, and customs is on the east side. I don't understand these west and east, because America's such a big place and we're such a tiny place that we don't have these problems. Anyway, they assured her that once it had passed customs, which it should do because there's nothing in it that's of any contraband, you know. It's not like I'm sending drugs over or anything. So apparently it goes through a scanning machine, and if there's nothing of any untoward, which there won't be because it's just crochet cardigans, then hopefully, fingers crossed, they won't send it back to me. They'll send it to her. So we've all got to go, please, fingers crossed, toes crossed, everything crossed. Hopefully it goes to her and not back to me. Because if it comes back to me, I've then got the problem of trying to get it back to her again. But I can't see there being a problem. I can't see it. It's not busted open according to them. It's not done anything. It's still got all its labels on it. But apparently it missed customs for some strange reason. Ours is not to reason why, ours is just to keep our fingers crossed and hope. So I will put a message on Facebook if, when, whenever it arrives. I'll probably do a song and dance on YouTube, going, it's got there. You'll see me in complete freak mode. Still, never mind. Oh, I was sobbing my heart out yesterday morning, though. I really was upset. When Parcel Force just literally washed their hands of me and just told me to fill in a compensation form. Come on, you haven't even looked, yeah? It has been raining, Esther. It's been windy, it's not been nice, and it's raining, and the sun has disappeared, yeah. You recently discovered Federal Express will mark things delivered a bit early. You received it 2 days later. No, they definitely say it's gone back to customs because it had missed going through customs. How can anything miss going through customs? It's not like a little envelope, it's a big thunking parcel like that. You can't miss a thing that big, can you? But they must have done. They must have done. I just hope they don't send it back to me. And I have to repackage it all and split it up into different parcels and pay the postage again, of course. Oh, wish me luck. Wish me luck. I'll put my hand cream on. That'll mean I'll be sliding them out when I try to crochet. But never mind. So I hope you've all had better luck than I've been. I've been really off the mark this week because it's put me right off. People say, why won't you post things to America? And I'm like, this is why I won't post things to America. Things go missing. Things don't get there. And if they do get there, they get there about 8 weeks later, You can't run a business like that. Will they refund the postage? No, will they heck? Because as far as they're concerned, they've sent it. They won't give me the money back. They would only refund the postage if I can claim for the whole kit and caboodle. And obviously you cannot claim for the value I would put on crochet things because, you've no bills, have you? You've got no receipts. You bought the wool ages ago. You didn't keep receipts, yeah? So how can you prove what things cost or whatever? You can't because it's handmade, isn't it? It's not like you've been in a shop and bought it and you've got the receipt. So it's very, very hard to get any compensation back again if the thing goes missing. This is why I was so upset yesterday morning. My son come in and going, what's the matter with you? And I'm going, I want my parcel. I can't find it. But obviously, if you have any problems, contact people on Twitter. Apparently, they don't like it, these companies, when you put things on Twitter. Yeah. Hello, Frenchie's Fibre. Oh, sorry, I've got my eyes are not working here. Frenchie's Fibre Files. Can I call you just Frenchie? Yeah. Hello. It's a bit of a mouthful, that. And I don't know how you feel, but if I see one more thing saying Christmas in July, I'll stop following them. I really will. What is this Christmas in July malarkey? Oh, it's not like you started your Christmas presents early, is it? It's a completely different thing. Christmas does not exist in July. Christmas is in December. So Christmas in July. Please don't come and tell me you're joining in. Please don't tell me you're making Christmas ornaments in July. Hi, Jude. I do not see the point. I can understand you making the 4th of July things. I can understand you doing that. I can even understand you doing Halloween. Although it's a little early, but I can even understand that. If you're a slow crocheter, you're starting doing things for Halloween. But Christmas? Come on. It's not Christmas in July. No. Whatever religion you follow, Christmas is not in July. So when I see a video, I just won't watch it. I just go, end the story. I don't care if it's one of my favourite people that I normally watch. I just won't watch them. I'm like, you know, it's times you wish the thumbs down was still available. I'm a Grinch. I am a Grinch. I'll openly admit it. I am a real Grinch. I think about Christmas in December. Don't think about Christmas before. No. My birthday's in November. I think about my birthday first. I'm a Sagittarian. Yeah. You're a Grinch as well, are you, Di? And I'm glad I'm not on my own. Yeah, Christmas stuff in November is bad enough, isn't it? But Christmas in July, what is it all about? Who started it? You know, somebody must have started this trend. And I wish they hadn't. Yeah. Oh dear. I don't know what the latest must have do. I mean, at one time it was virus show. I don't know what the latest thing is at the moment that everybody has to make. Oh, they all follow like little sheep, don't they? Somebody puts a pattern up and the whole of America makes it. And I've got this sort of awful funny feeling, you know, that if people have got crafters in their family and they come to be Christmas morning and they open up their parcels and every parcel is one of those, whatever it is, it's the latest thing that you're all crocheting. You know, and they go, oh, thank you very much. Oh, a blue one this time. I've had a red one and a green one and a yellow one and a purple one. I might as well have a blue one. Yeah. Oh, yeah, only me. Don't you dare torment me. I don't understand it either, Esther. I really don't. No, I really don't understand it. There's a lot of things I don't understand. Oh, hello. It wouldn't be a video without somebody sending me a message, would it? I'm going to the Lake District on Monday. My son and daughter-in-law are taking me up there. I'm going to meet, well, I call her a cousin. She's actually the daughter of, no, she's the niece of one of my cousin's husbands. She's kind of related, isn't she? So I haven't seen her for about 20-something years. And her mum is 90 and still probably in better health than me. So I'm excited to go and see her. I haven't seen her for 20 odd years. Don't think she'll recognise me because I had dark hair when she saw me last. With a bit of luck, she might be grey. Then I won't feel so bad. She's a heck of a lot younger than me, though. Yeah. How long is the drive? About an hour and a half, unless we get hold-ups, of course, which you can never guarantee on our roads. But my niece drives down to London because her mum's moved down there. My sister-in-law, she's moved down there. And my niece says she gets stuck on the M25 and it's like you literally turn the engine off because you're stuck in a jam that long. And I'm like, oh, that would drive me bonkers. Would drive me mad. You definitely need a shiwi, wouldn't you, for one of those? And if you don't know what a shiwi is, look it up. It's what ladies can use like gentlemen do, yeah. So you can, you know, so you don't have to pull your pant down. Too much information, yeah, I know. Yeah, I'll be more excited though, only me, if that parcel gets to America. And she gets it in her little hot little hands and she likes them. She insisted that she didn't want to see what I was sending her. She wanted it to be a surprise. So I thought to myself when it went missing, I thought, yeah, it will be a surprise to both of us, because I didn't have photos of what I'd sent because she said she didn't want to see them. So I didn't take photos. So it would have been a mystery, not a a surprise. Oh dear. Yeah. Yeah, they come up from, they live in Poole. Poole, I think that's near, I don't know where it's near. Poole, anyway. Is it near Plymouth? I don't know. They live in Poole, but they've got a camper van, so they're coming up in a camper van. And I'm meeting them in the cafe nearby, yeah. Yeah, Sean lives in Poole. Sean, not Sean. Sean lives in Poole. Sean is the Welsh version, yeah. Yeah. Do you know, for half of my life, you know, the male version where they spell it Sean, I thought it was called Seed. Mind you, like some Irish names. I mean, oh my goodness. I never forgot reading a book. And the heroine in the book I thought was called Persephone. And then I found it was Persephone. It's not written like that. It's written Persephone. And Irish names, my goodness me. I've got a friend called Edine. And I still can't spell her name. I've got to look it up. There's too many E's, A's, and O's in it. It's like Siobhan, you know. My line manager was called Siobhan, yeah, and everybody kept calling her Sayaban. Oh, you love my outfit tonight. This is attached, by the way, it's not separate. It's a little short sleeve black top, and it's got this. And I'm actually wearing, I don't think I can get my leg up that high. If I can show you. I'm actually wearing leopard skin pants, so if you're English or in the UK, I'm channeling my Bet Lynch today, my inner Bet Lynch. I'm wearing, I think this is like tiger's print, is it? And leopard skin pants. I think it's tiger print, that, isn't it? Or is it leopard? I don't know. It's got a few spots on it and a few squiggles. I don't often wear it because it's got short sleeves, yeah. It's a mix, yeah. So it's my inner Bet Lynch, Nathan. I'm wearing my Bet Lynch outfit today. Yeah, this is a little bit long though, you know, and I don't like tying it in a bow, you know, like a big pussycat bow. It's a bit much, yeah. I need to get my son to sort the internet out as well. You got to love Bet Lynch, yeah. She's gone a bit anxious. She's got dementia, apparently. Oh, dear. What way to go? First we lose Barbara Windsor, and then now Bet Lynch has got it as well. If I get it, will you let me know? If I start suddenly, you know, going off on one, you know, let me know, please. Just say, Jan, I think it's time you gave up the lives. You're losing the plot. Yeah, I wonder what she looks like without her wig and everything, because she used to wear a wiggy top knotty thing. I bought one, actually. It arrived today, and it came from, like, wherever. And I put it on, and oh, God, I couldn't stop laughing. I couldn't have worn it. It was the wrong colour for a start off, because you choose it online, don't you? And it just looked ridiculous. It was like, oh, I thought, I cannot wear that. Cannot wear it, yeah. Oh, my necklace today. Look at that. Isn't that glam? Very glam, isn't it, Shad? Woohoo! And I'm wearing my leopard print and tiger print trousers and whatnot. Hi, Asina. Hi, Tinkerbella Rosa. Yeah, Julie Goodyear, yeah, yeah. Yeah, she used to have that great big false top knot stuck on her head, didn't she? Yeah. You would love to see what me tiger print. I've just shown me pants, me tiger. Woo! Me tiger pants. Woohoo! There they are. Oh, definitely not Princess Diana. Oh, the wig, yeah. Oh, the wig thing. Oh, God, it was silly. It was really fake nylon acrylic. You couldn't have even vaguely passed it off as real hair, you know? It's like, have you been watching those little YouTubey things from people who've bought from Temu? They've been buying these wigs. Oh my God. They could never go out in public wearing them and nobody would think, wig. They're not in the slightest bit realistic at all. They're absolutely. Very who? Carol who? Baskin? Who's that? Who's Carol Baskin? I don't know who that is. Some look okay. They might on camera, but I bet they look like synthetic. There used to be, well, there probably is, loads and loads of wig shops in Manchester, usually run by African ladies, because I think African ladies love a wig. Yeah. I might be wrong. I'm not being racist. I think African ladies do love a wig. And there's quite a lot in Manchester. And they are really fake looking. They are not even attempting to look realistic, you know. They're long, long ones in like, well, they just look like, ooh, what was that? A cat. They just look like really fake, you know, nylon stuff. Do I know the Tiger King show? No, I don't have Netflix, Nathan. I'm not really rich. Hi, Yolanda. I don't have anything except Freeview. I'm poor. After I paid for these flipping teeth, I'm even poorer. And I need to go to the optician, so by the time I've finished paying for them, I might as well go and, I don't know, what I can sell. Sold my wedding ring, sold everything I own. Oh dear. No, I don't know who Tiger King is. See, I don't know who they are. Ah, these Carol Baskins. And no, I don't know. It's a real talk about tigers. Oh, I did hear about somebody who kept tigers, but I don't think he was called that. I did see a documentary once on the telly about somebody who kept tigers, but I don't know what he was called. It wasn't called Tiger King, I'm sure. Did he not get eaten? Or am I just thinking about somebody else who got eaten? It's a bit dodgy, isn't it, keeping tigers? I'd rather they were in the wild, you know, where you just throw a bit of meat over a fence. I don't want one anywhere prowling around near me, thank you very much. They're wild animals, aren't they? They should be in the wild, not in somebody's back garden, you know. Especially not kept in a cage. I'm just, unless they go into sleep at night, but not in a cage, no. As long as they don't run free up and down my street, you know. As long as they're safely contained. Sort of in the wild, but not quite in the wild, yeah. Carol Baskin's husband went missing. They thought she fed him to the tigers. She probably was married to mine. I think if I'd have owned tigers, I would have fed mine to a tiger. But I digress. We've got to think happy thoughts, haven't we? And not be thinking ill will to anybody. Got to think happy thoughts. Yeah. Joe Exotic, that's the one who I know the name of, only because I've seen her. I saw a documentary about him. Yeah, he has a mullet. What's he in prison for? What's he done then? See, I don't know these things. I just don't watch news. I prefer, you know, to put my head down and do my crocheting, you know, to be quite honest about it, yeah. I like to think happy thoughts, and there's no happy thoughts on the news anymore. every time you turn the news on, it's riots in Paris or something or other. And I'm like, oh, please. Somebody being stabbed, somebody being shot. It's just horrendous. I'd rather look at YouTube videos of people doing the crocheting, except if it's crochet in July. But yeah, I'd rather do that. Maybe it's putting my head in the sand, I don't know, but I'd rather do that, yeah. Oh, we tried to get Carol basking. Oh, it's like round and round and round. He thinks she fed her husband to the tigers, so he decided to try and kill her. Oh, well. They had a big feud, did they? Here's my Specsavers letter. Book your appointment now. Well, I'm not booking it now because I've got a diabetic eye appointment. So it's which comes first, the chicken or the egg, isn't it? Yeah. If I go to Specsavers and get some new glasses, and then I go for my diabetic eye appointment and they find something wrong, then the glasses might not be any use. So I'm not paying twice. So I'm going to wait until after I've been for my diabetic eye test. And then I'll go to the opticians. And in the meantime, I can't see a tap. Oh, yeah. What happened to his little animals? They didn't have to kill them or anything, did they? Yeah. I can't watch animal. My ex-husband used to love to watch all these animal programs, and I'm like, that tiger's going to kill that little thing there, that little deer or whatever it was, little antelope. I can't watch. And he used to say, oh, give over, what's wrong with you? It's nature. And I still don't want to watch it. And I'm like, run to this little deer. Get out of the way of it. They didn't have to show it on the telly, did they? You know. My little one's like, it's not really dead, is it, Mummy? It's not really dead. And I'm like, will you stop watching things like that? And he's going, well, he's got to learn. So I said, no, he's not got to learn when he's little. It's time enough for that when he's grown up. Turn it off. Let's watch something else, you know. We only had one telly in those days. You know, you couldn't get out of the way, could you? I used to say to Irene, come on upstairs, I'll read you a book, you know. Let's go away from the nasty tigers and lions and stuff. He watched football and animal programs. Didn't like either of them. I don't mind little programs where you watch little baby animals or little ones being born or something like that. I love watching the ones on YouTube, you know, where they've got little dogs or they rescue little dogs and cats, and they take them to the vet and they get them all better, and then they get them adopted and they get a forever home. That's what I like watching. I don't like watching anything ripping itself, things apart. No. Oh, my cousin Lynn has added a post. I don't know why or what. I'll look later. Ah, dear. Well, I've lost another cousin. I don't know what's going on. My family, they're dropping down like flies. Admittedly, it wasn't a cousin I really knew. I hadn't seen him since he was a little boy, but it's still not nice, is it? And it was my ex-husband's grandson's funeral on Wednesday. Yeah. I couldn't go to Knit Club because I looked after the dog. Trixie had eaten watermelon rind. Well, she'd stolen it. She'd stolen watermelon rind and it upset her tummy. So Grandma had to look after her just in case of accidents. Yeah. As it turned out, she was fine, but I was on standby with my mop and bucket. Yeah. If you've got a French bulldog, don't let it eat watermelon rind. She wasn't supposed to have it. She sneaked it. She stole it off the table. Yeah, not the big table because she's only a little dog. She stole it off a little coffee table. Yeah. Oh dear, never mind. We just had fish and chips today. We don't get them very often because we're all supposed to be watching what we eat, especially me because I'm diabetic and I can't get me injections because of this worldwide thing where they're prescribing them as weight loss and all these celebs are injecting themselves. So I can't get it for my diabetes anymore. So one of the side effects of coming off it, unintentionally coming off it, is that you would gain weight. So, what are you saying? So I'm having to watch, that I don't put weight on. All the doctor's advice was be more careful about what you're eating. And I'm like, well, why don't you tell that to these overweight people who you are prescribing it to for weight loss? Why don't you tell them to watch what they're eating? Yes, I know I could reverse my diabetes. Nathan did, but I'm not that dedicated. I like my sweeties. Hello. So we had fish. Well, I didn't have many chips. I had fish and peas, really. It's nice. We don't often have it, yeah. You're back on it again, are you? Yeah. I can't get those injections. 4 weeks. They've been out of stock. Worldwide shortage. It may last until 2024. Ah, that's great. All because people, these celebrities are buying them at £50 a pop, because they've got the money, haven't they? £50 an injection, apparently. But they don't need them. They're for their health. They just need them because they can't be bothered dieting. I think, no, they should be restricted. Diabetics first. And there's even been a thing where they're asking GPs not to prescribe to diabetic people anymore. Yeah. Oh, we're still waiting to find out. We've tracked it, Eason. It has been tracked. It's with FedEx at the moment, going back to customs. Yeah. It's like my injection. It helps your body to get rid of the sugars in your body, and that's a bit like Nathan's is to get rid of the fats in your body. You've got to watch what you eat if you're on the one that Nathan takes, is because if you eat anything that's got fat in it, it has dire consequences, which we won't go into on a family channel, yeah, but it has dire consequences, yeah. Me, no, I'm on, oh God, Dulicity. It's like the all or whatever it is, yeah. Mine's not a weight loss. One of the side effects is that it maintains your weight and you don't put weight on. That's one of the side effects of my injection. But mainly it's to get rid of the sugars and stuff in my body, yeah. They did give me a tablet, not the one that Nathan's on. They did give me a tablet, but I was allergic to it, so I couldn't take it. So that's why they put me on the injections. Now I can't get them. And I can't go back on the tablet because I'm allergic to it. So, hello. Yes, I know I could try dieting, but I mean, at my time of life, dieting is just not, no. I'm not on my £600 life or anything like that. I'm not even £300. I might be £200, but I'm not. But it tickles me though when I look around and I think, gosh, there's some great big people around. Really, where I live, there's some really enormous people, enormous. And I don't know, yeah. take a tablet. I didn't take a tablet per meal. I think I just took them one a day or something when I was on them, Nathan. It didn't suit me. I think it's because I have IBS. And if anybody suffers with IBS, you know what the side effects of IBS are. So if you take a tablet that also helps you to rid the fat in your body, you are kind of never away from the small room. I can't understand why I lived most of my life without any of these things. I'm sure it's the additives they're putting in the food that makes you suddenly be allergic to cow's milk. I've been brought up on cow's milk. I've had cow's milk all my life. And I got a really bad stomach about 18 months ago. I was really, really bad, really poorly. Pain was excruciating. And I had to change from cow's milk to non-dairy, yeah. Yeah, well, I can't take the Orlistat because of my IBS, yeah. As I tell you, the consequences were very dire, Nathan. I was practically conducting my life from the small room, yeah. Never coming out of it. I'd come out of it and go, ooh, ooh, back in again, yeah. Too much information, I know, especially if you're eating. Hi, Connie, how are you? Welcome to the party. We're having a party. We're not having the other, where that tune belongs. Yeah. I'm not saying that on here in case I get banned. Yeah. I must remember to try and take my camera when I go up to the Lake District because it's quite pretty up there if I get a chance. If I can get my son to stop in a lay-by somewhere where there's a lake, and I can at least show you a lake. Because where we're going, I'm meeting her at a caravan park, a trailer park to people in America. So I don't think that would be very picturesque. Oh, it went away, right, Nathan? What am I making? Well, I finished my circular waistcoats. I finished them. I just finished sewing up the ends in, the purple one today, and putting the buttons on it. Finished it. It's a bit hard to show it when I'm just holding it up. That's the front view with its buttons on. And that's the back view with the collar and the circle. That's what I've just finished today. I finished the green one, as you know, ages ago, but I changed the buttons on it today. And I still don't like the buttons on this. This one's much, much smaller. But this one, I changed those fancy buttons and I put what I thought were green ones, but they're not very green, actually, in real life. They're a bit more grey. Still, never mind. What I'm making at the moment is I've made one piece of it. It's that a sweater I'd started. I think I started it last week, didn't I? Or was I doing me? No, I was doing my circular waistcoat last week, wasn't I? This is what I've been doing. I've done one piece. I'm on the second piece. There's no pattern to it. It's some Kinko Price-wise. It's called Heather. I've got some skirts with this colour in, winter skirts. And I've also got a pair of patchwork trousers in fluffy, like wintry stuff with this colour in. So this is why I'm making, sweaters. Why have I got a long length here? Oh gosh, I've got more strings. Got more strings than a violin. I think that's a separate bit. Let's wind it up and see where it leads. That's the trouble. You shove everything back in your knitting bag, don't you? Your crocheting bag, whatever you want to call it. No, that seems to be attached to something. I think I'm going to snip it off because I don't want it attached. Am I snipping the right bit? Yes. I bought some more. I had to buy 2 more balls of this heather to finish off to finish this sweater. So I bought some Stylecraft Special, lovely and soft that, in teal, to make another winter sweater. Well, I might as well make things for me because I don't sell anything, so there's no point making anything to sell. The parcel is hopefully with the customs. We have tracked it. So I'm just keeping my fingers crossed and hoping that it gets to my lady. So yeah, that's what I'm making. I've done the back. This is the front. No pattern, I'm just doing. I did take a pattern with me to the library the other day, and when I got there, it was done side to side, and I thought, oh, I'm not doing side to side. You know, I'm not very good with side to side. You either get it too wide or too long, or it doesn't look right, you know. So I'm not very much a lover of doing side to side. I've done them. I've done plenty of side to sides. These are all little bits of wool. Well, I'm going to have a toffee. I have got Marks and Spencer's toffee assortment. It has got, well, it's got what I can't read. My eyes have gone. I think it's got treacle in it, and it's got, does it say? Oh yeah, it tells me here. Chocolate. Does it say chocolate? Yeah. Oh dear, I can't read. The eyes have gone. No, I can't read it. There, you can read it. I tell you, I really need my eyes testing. I can't read it. These are not my readers, these are just me walking about us. So I don't think they're much good. Oh, chocolate brownie. Latte. Salted caramel. And double Devon. See, I could read a bit with these glasses on. Oh yeah, please keep your fingers crossed for me, Connie. I'm hoping everybody crosses their fingers at that flipping parcel. They said at first it was coming back to me. Now, whilst I would have been glad for it to come back to me rather than be lost, that still means I would have the problem of getting it to the lady again, all over again. Paying more postage to hopefully get it lost again. This is why I don't like sending things to America. I'm not being prejudiced against anybody in America. And if the postal service worked, I would send things. But A, it's very, very expensive, and B, things get lost. My friend's lost a painting. And £80 worth of painting she's lost. That's gone to America missing. Gone missing. Nobody knows where it is. Another one. I can't understand in this day and age why they can't keep tabs on things. It's all automated, it's all scanned, it's all got barcodes on, and they still lose the blooming things. You could understand it in a way when everything was sorted by hand and you had little people making mistakes, you know, putting it in the wrong cubbyhole. But everything's supposed to be scanned. Oh, look at that. Instant cheeks. Where everything's supposed to be scanned now. It's not supposed to be mistakes the same. Not human error like it used to be. When you think the post office used to sort all the letters handwritten by hand, and they didn't have postcodes on back in the day. Need a tracker on it. You need to do something. How much would it cost to put a tracker on it, though? I was reading in the paper that a lady, well, a young lady, young, very, very sweet, pretty, glamorous lady, found a tracker in her overhead, a carry-on bag that she took in the airport. Somebody managed to put a tracker in there. Honestly. I mean, they can track people with their phones and everything these days. Not that I leave an exciting life and they track me to be like, gone to the knit club, come back, gone to the shop, come back. People would get very, very bored at tracking me. I don't lead an exciting life. Although I must have activated by accident something on my phone because I got a message the other day saying, this was the longest journey that you have made this month. And I'm like, what? And it was one day where I'd had to go to collect a prescription from the pharmacy, which is quite a way away. And I get part of the way home and they phoned me and said, could I go back because they'd given me the wrong prescription. Somebody else's prescription they'd given me. How, I don't know. So I had to turn around. I was nearly home, turn around and go all the way back. So I got told, this was your longest journey this month. Yeah, it was. You're not going to believe it, but my 2 front tyres on my scooter are practically bald again. I need to take a photograph and send it to my scooter man before they bust again. It's the blinking state of the roads round here. I've not had them a month, have I? And they're going again. I hadn't noticed it with my friend. You know, we go down the seafront together on a Thursday, like Thelma and Louise, you know. And she said to me, do you know your tyres are nearly bald again? So I got off the scooter and had a look. I went, oh, God, you're right. The tread's gone in the middle. Yeah, but like Thelma and Louise. down the seafront. Arian sorted out the garage. I think he's knocked the internet off. I went in my bedroom to get ready to, you know, come on the live, and I'm going, Alexa, play. And Alexa's going, I'm sorry, I don't understand. And it was flashing red. So I thought, well, I'll look on my Kindle. And my Kindle's not connected. Arian's been not messing in the garage. He's been tidying out the garage. We're getting a new fridge. Well, not a fridge freezer. We're getting a new freezer on Wednesday. Because the other freezer, it's defrosted itself once. And then when I went out to it the other day, somebody had shut the door and shut a cable in the door, so the door hadn't shut properly. So it defrosted all the food again. So I said to my son, I've had enough of this. I've had enough of it. I'll order a little chest freezer. So that's coming on Wednesday. So Arian was reorganising the garage, ready for, you know, to put it in and get rid of the other freezer, the upright one. So I think he's knocked the internet off. It's difficult with a house with like 2 upstairs, downstairs, where you put the hub, you know, like to send the signal. It used to be on my window bottom here, but they discovered it wasn't sending a signal, you know, like to the conservatory. So he moved it. And I think he put it in the garage or somewhere. So there's one upstairs and one in the garage now. But I think we're doing his tidying. I think he's tidied something, knocked it off. So sadly, I'm not going to be able to listen to me. I like to put a story on my little Kindle, you know, I like Agatha Christie and things, little short stories, while I'm trying to get to sleep. But it's not connected to the internet, so I won't be able to listen. So, dear. Sometimes I ask Alexa like to play something for an hour, while I'm going to sleep. But obviously, it won't do that because it won't play. I'll have to hum myself to sleep. Oh, I'm getting little hearts coming up there. Somebody's sending me hearts. Oh, thank you. When I've got my toffee stuck to my teeth. Excuse me. Oh, how nice. It's not even Valentine's Day. Got little hearts coming up. Now it's stuck to my tooth on the other side. Oh, gosh, it's a sticky toffee, this. So what are you all making? What are you all crocheting, knitting, crafting, 5D'ing, jigsaw puzzling? What are you all doing? I know Nathan's not doing anything. I think Nathan's give up the ghost with his crafting. We've got no Chris yet, have we? Yeah, that's the only problem with toffees. They stick to your teeth, don't they? I remember one of our dogs he accidentally got a toffee. Oh, you shouldn't laugh at them, could he? But he could not get rid of this toffee. And he wouldn't let us go near him to scrape it off his teeth. you're you're not doing anything, Nathan. You're a disgrace to the crafting community. Come on, get your crochet hook out again. You're crocheting a baby blanket, right? What else is everybody doing? We've got no Chris tonight. He's probably cooking and forgotten all about us. He'll come on in a minute going, oh sorry. You've got a long-term blanket. I would get so bored, Connie. I admire anybody who could stick it out making blankets. That thing I've just done, that lilac thing, when it got round and round and round and round, oh, God, it was driving me nutty. So I know I could never make a blanket. I've made the throw, but it was all in granny squares. So that wasn't too terrible, Well, it was terrible piecing it all together. I can't do that join as you go. Because if you do that join as you go, you finish up this great big thing that weighs a ton on your knee. I'd rather just join them all at the end. If I've got to have it all over my knee, then I can put it on the table or somewhere. Put the weight of it on the table while I crochet it together. But I crochet while I watch the television, so I couldn't do that join as you go. Drive me nuts. Shall I brave another toffee? People taking dogs' walks. Oh, I had a gold one last time. I'll have a purple one. I think this is one of those chocolate brownie ones, this one. Chocolate brownie. I used to love this kind of paper when I was little. I used to save it and make all kinds of things with it. Quality Street, they used to have, the purple ones used to be in papers like that. Purple on one side. The one I ate before was gold. Oh, it seems a shame to throw them in the bin, doesn't it? But I can't for the life of me think of what I would make with them now. You're making a hat with the seed stitch. I've got loads of hats in the shed. The last craft fair, I tried to sell them. I was only asking £5 each for them. And when you think the wool cost me about £3.50 for each hat, nobody wanted them. They'll probably finish it up with the homeless. Why am I eating these? They're sticking to my teeth. I'll be losing my new filling if I don't watch out. I should have bought something softer, shouldn't I? These are very, very chewy. I can't see me eating any more of these tonight. I think they're a bit too what's it? Too chewy. Oh gosh, I've got a nut. Oh. Oh my goodness, it's solid as a rock as well. No, I'll have to go back to the beginning of the row. I don't know where our homeless shelter places are, and I'm not giving them to people on the street. We've got some like down and outs that sit outside of pubs and things. And my friend, who was born and bred here, she knows them and says, like, they're not homeless at all. You just sit there begging, yeah. So it puts you off giving things, doesn't it, you know? Hi, Yolanda. Because me being a stranger, I don't know who's, you know, trying to pull the wool over my eyes or who's genuine. Blackpool, which is just up the road, has been voted for the 5th year running the most unhealthy place in the UK to live. Yeah, I did when I was in Manchester. But Fleetwood's a bit. It's a little place and it's sort of dying on its feet, you know. So there's a lot of people drooping about all over the place, but I don't think they're genuinely homeless, if you know what I mean. I would rather give to an organisation than give to an individual. Because if you give it to an individual who's sitting in the street, you never know quite what they're going to do with the money. And it probably isn't buying themselves some food. I mean, Manchester city centre is dreadful, I believe, now. You know, all these dropouts and, you know, drug addicts taking spice and everything off their heads. And it's a dangerous place. But it's the same in any big... I mean, Blackpool is full of down and outs and drunks and stuff. Every big town is these days. It's getting worse. So many people are addicted to things. I mean, when I was young, yes, we had drunks. Everybody knew they were drunks. But they weren't like lying on the streets and stuff. They were just drunks. But there wasn't the choice of like the drugs and stuff. It's going dark here, as you can see. I do wish you could see the clouds, but you can't. They're always lovely at this time of night, but it just looks blue. It's not actually blue, it's more purple. Purpley grey. They look pale. It looks much brighter on the camera than it does actually to me. It looks like it's going dark to me. There's one thing we do get here. We get some magnificent sunsets. We do honestly get them. There's some people around here who put the photographs, on Facebook, on our local Facebook. And they have beautiful, glorious sunsets, yeah. I wouldn't have been religious enough either, Diane. I always say you don't have to be religious to be a charitable person. A lot of these people who brag about how many times they go to church and stuff like that, they're not always nice people. I think somebody who's genuinely caring and works a lot, for charity in their own little way, not particularly religious people, don't particularly go to church and that, but yeah, they do a lot of good works. And you get we used to call them Holy Joes. You get the Holy Joes who go to church every Sunday and think that they're better than everybody else. And yet they can be as nasty as anything to everybody during the week. I'm sorry, but I mean, I was brought up with a Catholic family. I'm not Catholic, but you sort of think that if you go to confession and say a few Hail Marys and that, you can do what you want during the rest of the week. But to me, that's not religion. I believe in compassion. Yeah, somebody does spring to mind right now, don't they? Yeah, I believe that, if you do good turns and that, you don't want to sing your own praises, do you? Or as we say, blow your own trumpet. You do things quietly. Well, I'm sort of split down the middle, Diane. My mother was a Church of England, not particularly practicing. She did go to church, but not particularly, Holy Joe. My dad's family was Catholic, but my dad never went. He would do anything to get out of it. He used to always be in trouble as a boy because my grandma used to send him off to church and he never got there. Yeah. You, you hardly slept last night, is it? Is it? You're a bit tired, are you? I had a night like that the other week. I could not get to sleep no matter what I tried. I tried, reading. I tried putting a bit of music on. Tried all the usual deep breathing things. Nothing worked. I was just wide awake. I finished up getting up in the end and sitting in the recliner here reading a book. My son got up for work and he said, "What are you doing up so early?" And I said, "I'm not up so early. I've just never been to sleep." In the end, you get fed up of lying there, don't you? God, he was in the semi. One of my dad's brothers, they used to call him Holy Joe. My grandma was convinced that he was going to be a priest. She wanted one member of the family to be a priest, because she was a good Catholic family. Bit of Irish chucked in there, yeah. I mean, the Irish Catholics always wanted one son to be a priest, didn't they? Or one of the girls to be a nun. My grandma swore blind he was going to be a priest, but no, he got married. What have I got now? Breaking. Woman rushed to hospital after a car smashes into a wall in Manchester. See what I mean about good news? It's Good News Week. Used to be a song, that, didn't it? Can't remember who sung it. There was nothing on the telly when I was trying to finish my crocheting today. I finished up watching songs from the 80s. Oh, gosh, the Irish, they always want a priest. A priest or a nun in the family, they want. My DNA is Irish and Scottish. I've hardly got any English at all. I've got some Danish, Copenhagen, was it? But I think that probably comes from the Vikings. They came over pillaging all the women, didn't they, and all that. And I've actually got, I think it's about 3% Afghanistan or Kurdistan. I'm like, what? Where's that come from? I was supposed to have Normandy, but my DNA didn't show any of that in it. So bang goes that rumour of the family. They keep sending me matches as well, on your DNA match. This could be your fourth cousin's third cousin or something. I don't want to know, unless you're telling me somebody who's close to me. But none of my actual family must have done any DNA because none of my cousins or anything are on there. I must have been the only one in the family who did that DNA test. Yeah, it keeps throwing me up fourth cousin twice removed, Doesn't throw me anybody up like this is your cousin. Don't get any of that. Whether there was any unknown relatives that we don't know about, One of my aunties or my uncles was a bit naughty and there was a baby farmed off somewhere. None of that. Didn't get anybody close to me. They were all fourth and third cousins or something daft. Some of them were in America, and I know none of our lot went to America. Only my cousins in America. And one of my cousins three of my cousins are in Canada, but they're my generation. They're not like in the past. I don't have any ancestors, let's say, in America or Canada. Yeah, I knew we were Irish. Well, not me personally, but way back. I knew that the family was Irish. And my dad's family was Scottish. But way back. I don't mean my actual dad. He was born in Royton. My granddad was born in Royton, but my grandma was born in Liverpool. She's probably Irish. She came over. They came over and got as far as Liverpool. Because a lot of the sailors, that's where they docked, isn't it? That's why it's such a hodgepodge if you live in Liverpool. It's like the League of Nations in Liverpool. Right, I'm going to put the light on. I won't be long. At least I'm not having to put coal on the fire. Not yet, anyway. Although it is a bit chilly, to be quite truthful. I'll draw the curtains. That makes me feel warmer when I can't see outside. Oh. Oh. There's a blob on the curtain. Oh. Come on, Eileen. Oh. That's when I was listening to the 80s music. See, I've got me. Ooh, you can't see them, can you? Why can't you see them? Too dark. My long, long scarf. Might as well use it as a mirror while I'm here. Oh, yes. Why am I so cold? Yeah, I was listening to 80s music. Dexy's Midnight Runners, that's it. Come on, Eileen. Oh, I swear. I was looking at some of them and there was one there, it was wet, wet, wet. And I'm like, he looks familiar. Who is he? Anyway, it was Marty Pellow. But God, he must have been about 12. He looks so young. And I'm thinking, I should remember the 80s songs. When they put the 60s songs on, I'm away, yeah. You know, you can't remember what you did yesterday, and yet you can remember all the words of a 60s song. Well, I can anyway. But 80s, maybe I didn't listen so much in the 80s. Maybe that's more our Ian's generation. He was always into heavy metal, though. You know, he was into ZZ Top and Kiss and things like that. I've given up on the toffees. I'm on a mint now. I know I can suck these without having to chew them and get them round my teeth. Hey, I've got 29 people and 26 thumbs up. Thank you. Thank you for my thumbs up. Yeah, I've got my dates scheduled in for going back to Prestwich to see my niece. Going back to see my niece for 3 days. 2 nights in the hotel and 3 days. It's not till the mid-August I'm going. But I had to book it in before they start going on holiday somewhere. Leave me with the doggies. I know they're planning on it. I do hope they don't go for 2 weeks. We nearly got another dog, which I said no to. Trixie's daddy. I went, no way. 2 dogs is bad enough, but 3 dogs, no. Can't look after 3. They were trying to convince me that 3 is no worse than 2, but I'm like, no. And it was a male, which we've got 2 females. Bad enough Trixie doing a little wee, but I don't want a male dog doing a cocking its leg up somewhere. She's not mentioned it since, so hopefully we're not getting it. Oh, it's lottery day today. I wonder if I'll win the millions. Yeah, right. All I ever win is lucky dips, and my lucky dips never go anywhere. I don't even get excited when I win a lucky dip now. Yeah, two's company, three's a crowd. You're right there. You can have him, Nathan. You want to know the French Bulldog, don't you? Like a hole in the head. I'll tell him you will have him. She might have got rid of him now, actually. He'd started fighting with his son. What do I have? I've got a lovely mutt who comes from Romania. She's my little sweetheart, except when she barks, which she barks a lot. And then I've got a French bulldog. Well, I haven't got a family. I've got a French bulldog who's a little. She's 18 months. You can take her outside. You can have her in the garden. You can have her on a walk. You can have her everywhere. And then she'll come in and she'll pee in the conservatory. She's a little madam. But my Rosie, she's a Heinz 57 variety dog. But she's the most loving thing ever. She's lovely. Except when she barks. She doesn't like people coming in the house. Yeah. Brachycephalic. What the heck are them? The ones that can't breathe. We're lucky with Trixie, because even though she's a breed that gets, she snores when she sleeps, but she can breathe and she doesn't get out of breath when she's walking. But some dogs are so interbred that they can't breathe and they're snuffling all the time. But fortunately, our Trixie's been well bred, so she's not got any breathing issues. Yeah, a lot of them do. Pugs especially, don't they? Pugs get breathing difficulties. It's because it was the same thing happened years ago with poodles. Poodles were the in dog to have, and they got inbred so much that they had so many problems. But it's the same with any dog that happens to be like the flavour of the month, if you know what I mean. People want them, and unscrupulous breeders breed them too much, and they're inbred. This is when they start getting all the breathing difficulties and stuff. The poodle we had been inbred. She had walking difficulties with her hips and that. She was like Marilyn Monroe when she walked at the back. So she'd been inbred. I mean, she had a pedigree and everything. But when you traced back along her pedigree, when you got to like her grandparents and that, it was all a bit of a grey area. They were kind of all like kind of related to each other, And then you're thinking, yeah, this is where the genes went wrong, isn't it? I mean, her sister that was born at the same time, she looked perfect, but yet she died when she was quite a young dog. I mean, ours lasted till it was 14, but it was always like defective, if you know what I mean. But she was my pet, and I didn't care that she looked a bit funny. Everybody said, "What's the matter with your dog?" Yeah, you're better off with a mongrel. I mean, our Rosie will probably be the healthiest of everything, It's like my Buster. Buster was, well, he was supposed to be a boxer, Staffy Cross, but I think he had a lot more in him than that. And he very seldom ailed anything. You know, the only time he was at the vet's was when he got injured or he'd stepped on something. It's 117. 117, is that? Or is it 11.7? I can't see, Shab. My eyes have gone today. We don't get that kind of heat over here. It's 13 today. It's a lot cooler. I think the hottest we got was 26 the other day. That was C, by the way, 26C, whatever that is in Fs. No, it's 15 degrees C it is at the moment. That's probably why I'm feeling cold. It's not bad when during the day, but it seems to drop very cool at night. I get very shivery. Last night I finished up in my dressing gown. I was so cold. And I thought, I am certainly not putting any heating on. You know, it's July. I don't think I'd want it to be 117. That's what we've written. As I say, I can't see very well whether you put any dots in there. My eyes are blurred today. Hello, John. How are you doing? Are you warm enough? We've got no Kaz on today, and we've got no Chris. Hi, Yolanda. You're warm. I'm glad you're warm, John. I'm cold today. I wasn't cold until the sun went down. Well, what bit of sun there was went down. Come on, Chris, where are you? Are you cooking? Or have you forgotten us? Oh, 117. Oh, that's a bit hot. I can do about 80, 85. But I think anything past 90 gets a bit hot for me. I'm not on blood thinners, but I think it's my diabetes because I'm not on the injections anymore. I'm really gone cold now. I'm going to put my blanket on my knees. There we go. Put the blanket round me. I'm always cold, John. I don't sweat at all. Never. The other day I broke into a sweat on my forehead, and that's the only time I've ever won. Oh, Chris is probably cooking something. I've forgotten all about us. Little black Anglesey. She always comes on just as I'm going off and says, "Here I am," and I'm going now. It makes me feel awful when somebody just comes on, just as I'm going off. I'm like, well, I'm going off anyway. I was going off anyway, I hope they don't give him a complex thinking, oh, I go off as soon as she comes on. We had fish and chips today because Arian was getting his car fixed with his friend. So the time got away from us, when we should have been cooking and that. So it was the chip shop. Fish and chips. I enjoy though. I don't have, well, I did have a sprinkling of chips, but it was only a couple. I had fish and peas really. When I go back to Prestwich in August, I'm looking forward to going to the Italian restaurant. I hate pasta when they make it here. Hate it. And I don't like pizza. But there's an Italian restaurant in Prestwich and I'll eat anything from there. It's different when it's freshly made. It's not like shop bought pasta and shop bought pizza. When it's made in a proper Italian restaurant, it's something different. I'll eat anything they make. The Kentucky Fried Chicken place is shut down in Fleetwood. Not surprising, everything's shutting down in Fleetwood. But I must confess, I've only had it once since I've been here and it was horrible, yeah. I've never been in that kind of heat, Shad. I think the most we've ever had, I think on occasion, one time, I think it went to 100 once in the UK. But it's usually 80 something, is as much as it usually gets. We don't get that kind of heat. It's the same when you go on holiday from the UK and you go to somewhere warm. When you step off the plane, it's sort of like hits you, heat. And you're like, oh my God. I mean, once you get acclimatized to it, you're all right. You never have that problem really in the UK. I can't really remember a day when I stepped outside and said, oh my God, it's too hot. Other people might step outside and say it's too hot. But I step outside and go, oh, that's lovely. Oh, thank you. One of my friends used to say I had the kind of voice that she wished I would talk to her when she couldn't sleep because then she'd nod off. And I thought, is that a compliment or what? Maybe when I can't sleep, maybe I should talk to myself. It doesn't work with me though. I'm used to my own voice. When I hear a recording of my own voice, I think, who's that? That sounds awful. I'm like, do I really sound like that? I have to watch my videos before, well, I watch them before I put them up, just to make sure I haven't said anything or something's happened to one of them, nothing untoward where YouTube had flagged me. So I always watch it through before I upload it. And sometimes I'm like, do I really talk like that? My accent's particularly thick that day. Hey, I had a friend who wanted me to record bedtime stories for a little boy. I never did. She said he likes the way you read the stories. My son used to like me reading bedtime stories to him, not his dad. His dad used to just read them, where I used to do all the, ooh, 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 all the little, and I used to change the voices for all the little animals. If we were reading something like whether it was a rabbit, or a little cat, I'd change all the little voices, to a cat or to a dog or something. Whereas his dad, when he read to him, his dad used to just read the whole story just like that. And he used to say, I don't want my daddy to read to me. You come and read to me, mummy. And it used to mean that I missed all the television programmes that came on about 7:30, 8:00, because that's when he was going to bed. I was upstairs reading about Peter Rabbit. Still, you have to do these things for your kids, don't you? Can't understand. Can you do a bit for us now? I haven't got a book. I've got Paddington books, but they're in the other room. Paddington Bear. I could make a fortune. Well, I need to make a fortune doing something after I've been to the dentist, John. Hello, Chris. Where have you been? Diane thought you were cooking something exotic and you've forgotten about us. She said, I bet he's cooking something exotic. Oh, you've not eaten yet? Oh, gosh, we've got that joy to come, have we? Well, you can tell us what you're going to be making. I had fish and chips. Well, I didn't have many chips, but I had fish. Fish and chips. 6 chips and a big fish. And some mushy peas. I do love my fish. When I get back to Prestwich for my 3 days, I'm going to go to the local chippy. Because, oh, gosh, I do miss their fish. I'll have to eat it somewhere, though. I don't think they'll like me if I take it back in the hotel, stinking the room out with fish and chips. I'd have to eat it in the bathroom with the fan on, wouldn't I? So that people wouldn't be complaining they could smell fish coming up and down the corridor. I'll make my niece take me and then I'll sit in her car and make a whole car smell of fish and chips. I'm only there for 2 nights, so one night will be the fish and chips and one night will be the Italian restaurant. It's hard to find them here and all, Chris. I must confess, the batter was a bit greasy here. I'm used to really good crispy batter. I'm only going for a couple of days, Nathan. Mid-August I'm going. I'll be doing Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So it'll be like Friday night I'll stay in a hotel, Saturday night, and then I'll come home on the Sunday. Unless you can bring me back on the Monday, and then I'll do Friday, Saturday, Sunday in the hotel. And come back on the Monday. I'll probably forget. I might take a photograph. I'll probably forget. I'm going up to the Lake District on Monday. I'll probably forget to film it. I like watching some of the. We have quite a few nice programs on the television where they go to like Cornish villages and different things, and they've still got the fishing fleet, and it shows the fish coming in and people buying it sort of straight off the boat, yeah, and you're like, oh gosh, Fleetwood used to be like that. I mean, there is a good fish place up the road from here, but you have to cook it yourself, if you know what I mean. You can buy the fresh fish. It's really expensive. I'm going to hopefully bring some fish and stuff back from the market. I'll have to sort of buy it on the Saturday and hope that my niece has got room in her fridge to put it in until the Sunday when we're coming home. Yeah, I'll be there for 2 evening meals, I think, unless I stay the Sunday night as well. I'll have to have a word with her, but I think I'm just going to stay Friday night, Saturday night, and come back on the Sunday. So I'll be going to Bury one day, probably on the Saturday. Maybe go. I want to go to Bury one day and I want to go to Manchester another day. So we'll have to see how we work that out. Because I don't want to go to Bury on the Friday because it means that she'd have to put my fish and things in her fridge all day Saturday, and then we were coming home on a Sunday. So it'd be better if I went to Bury Market on the Saturday. Then at least she'd have to put them in her fridge and I'll take them home Sunday. Oh, I'm only visiting, yeah, I'm not staying, obviously. It's just I've never been back since I left, which is like 2.5 years ago. I'd just like to go back again. I won't be seeing anybody really, just my niece. But it was just nice to see actual decent shops for a change. Because there's certainly none around here. The other day I went all over the place trying to find Johnson's baby lotion. They had the shampoo, they had the oil, they had the everything, but I couldn't find Johnson's baby lotion any shops around here. I had to order it online. I mean, how stupid is that? I don't know what they put on their babies around here, but obviously not Johnson's baby lotion. I must admit, I didn't go in Asda, places like that. Didn't go in the big store. But like the little stores, none of them had it. Chemist didn't have it. It's so frustrating when I'm like looking for something and I can't get it here. I have to order. Oh, Ian says, why do you have to go order everything off Amazon? So it's the only place I can get. Anything, even like hair clips and things. to order them online. Buttons, you can't get buttons for love nor money around here. You know, things you take for granted. I'd be like, take me into Tesco. Take me into Tesco's. Where I can buy the cereal that I like, which I can't find around here. You know, you even struggle around here to get tins, pears and things like that. I have to go into Marks and Spencer's and pay a fortune. Yeah, it's been 2.5 years. It's been 2020. We moved here December, I think it was 2020. Yeah. I mean, Irene and Trish have been back since, but I haven't. I've not been back at all since then. Not been back to my favourite charity shops. You never know what I might be coming home with, a car full of stuff. Charity shops here are dire. I follow a lady online. She's called Crafty Nana. That's Nana, is Nana. She goes in all the charity shops all over the place where she goes. I think she's down south, more. And she gets some fantastic things. But here, oh, the scruffy stuff that lands in our charity shops here are not worth a penny. I mean, to get a decent shoe shop or to go any clothes, you'd have to go into Blackpool, which I don't like. Hate Blackpool with a passion. I'm waiting for them to finish off the tram line. They're making it, but it hasn't been opened. It was supposed to open last year. The tram line that goes from here all the way to Blackpool train station. And that'll be great then, because then I could get my little scooter, get up early, get the tram into the station, go to Manchester, have a look round, and then come back again without having to worry anybody. Whereas now I'd have to get to the tram stop, then get off the tram in Blackpool, then find my way to the station, which could be quite a trek from where the tram stops. I'm so used to the transport system in Manchester where you can get anywhere you want to go. You can hop on a tram and get anywhere in the space of minutes in Manchester. It's a bit like London, really, with its underground. But here, the tram just goes to Fleetwood and then to Blackpool. That's all it does. It doesn't go to St Anne's. It doesn't go to anywhere. I mean, I was right close to the motorway in Prestwich, so you could hop on the motorway and it wouldn't take you 2 minutes to get anywhere. But there's no, the motorway's quite a distance here. Come on, Eileen. I'm running out of things to say today. It's not usually like me. I'm usually more chatty than this. I think it's been a week and a half, hasn't it, for me? I haven't done half the things this week that I meant to do. You know, when you've got yourself a little timetable of things you want to achieve, like a to-do list. My to-do list didn't get done at all this week. I took photographs of some dresses I had to put on eBay. And I don't know what happened, but the photographs have not come out clear at all. So I'm going to have to redo them. I don't know whether the lighting was wrong or what, but they didn't come out very well. I thought I'll never sell the dresses with these photographs because they look so bad. They looked a bit blurry as if my hand had been shaken. The lighting was wrong. I find it so hard, though, to take photographs of anything because I have to stand up, put the dress on the mannequin. And the day I took the photographs originally, I had such a bad back that I was in so much pain, I took them sitting down. It's gone cold here again, Chris. It's been raining. I think our summer's been and gone. We must have had a fortnight of it. Yeah, I had trouble with parcel force as well. That put me in a really off mood all week, really. Worrying about the parcel. I just wasn't in the frame of mind to do much. Because Arian said to me, have you been back in the shed to tidy up yet, Mum? He's going to put me some better lighting in there. I've only got like one of these lights in there, and it's not much good for a whole shed. But he can't get in really because there's so much stuff in it. My friend Lizzie wants to come and live in the UK, and I'm like, why? The weather's dire. You watched my video. The update since then, Gail, is that FedEx has got it, and it's allegedly gone back to customs because it missed the customs. And then hopefully when it's been in customs, fingers crossed everybody, hopefully it'll go to her and not back to me like they said it was going to come. They said it was going to come back to me, which was like, no. Because then I would have to find another way of sending it. And of course, pay the postage all over again. My friend calls it parcel farce. Not parcel force, parcel farce. And my friend's lost a painting as well. They've lost a painting of hers that she painted. I mean, You put a value of what you want for things, don't you? But how can you put that kind of value on a painting that you've painted yourself? Well, the mannequin at the moment is in the conservatory, and it's usually quite bright in there. But for some reason or other, I think I was having a bad day. And also I had to sit down to take the photos because my back was hurting so much that day. So I wasn't at the right angle, to take the photos. So I think I need to do them all again. I know a lot of them were really expensive, Chris. One that I looked at was £400 for the postage. I'm like, oh yeah. I mean, this parcel cost me 133 to send it, which I thought was bad enough. But it was one of the cheapest. Our parcel people here are good. I mean, people call Every, that what used to be Hermes, but the ones we have here locally are quite good. And when I lived in Prestwich, they were fantastic because I had a porchway, with a door, and they always left everything in the porch. Couldn't see from outside because the porch was half built with brick. So on the odd occasion I was out and they called, they always left it in the porch for me. Well, there's been a lot of trouble in Manchester where, blocks of flats you have, or apartments, you have like a communal area where they leave the parcels. And people have been breaking in. I don't mean other residents, I mean people have been breaking the doors and going in and taking all the parcels away. I mean, we're quite lucky here in that my doorway's on the side, so it's not immediately obvious from the main road. But my son's moved he had a little box trailer, and that was handy because it blocked anybody's view of my front door. But he's moved it. Yeah, well, they do it round here. The postman won't leave anything. If you're not in, he won't leave anything, even if you ask him to. Because we have a box where you can hide things. But the postman won't. But the Amazon man will leave anything anywhere. My God, I can hear the seagulls. Seagulls are tweeting away there. Oh, there was a guy not far from here, a few streets away, had all his side of his face and his eye. A seagull attacked him. He was walking his dog quite late at night, and a seagull attacked him. Gave him a right sort of black eye and pecked all his face. They can be quite aggressive, the seagulls here. They're quite big as well. I never realised how big a seagull was till you get close up to them, and they're huge. Like the size of eagles, they're big things. There's big signs everywhere saying don't feed the seagulls. You don't have to feed them, they just snatch everything out of your hand. If you're walking down the road with a sandwich or something, they just come along and snatch it out of your hand. And on bin day, they open all the tops of the bins, throw all the plastic bags out of the bins, and then they start ripping them open looking for food. They're quite aggressive. And you're not supposed to hurt them either because they're a protected species. You're not supposed to, like some people would do. Making a blanket out of diamonds. Are they real diamonds? Real diamonds? Or diamond shapes? Yes, eagles are protected. They're a protected species. You can't kill them or anything. Like some people would be tempted to shoot them with an air rifle, but they're a protected species. Oh, we had a dead horse on the beach, washed up from somewhere. There was a porpoise the same day. Well, they said it was a porpoise, and it turned out to be a seal. Dead on the beach. And then there was a horse. Where the heck did a horse come from? I mean, I know some of the gypsies race their horses up and down the beach. But, I mean, I'm sure even they wouldn't leave one behind. Yeah, we don't know whether it had fallen in somewhere else and been washed up. I mean, we get all sorts washed up on the beach here. All sorts of weird things. A sea burial. Yeah, take your horse out and float it out at sea, and it came back on the beach. I mean, we have a Romany family that live up on the seafront. They have one of those vardas, and he ties his horse up and it chomps its way merrily through the grass verge. And everybody's going, was it Carl's horse? No, Carl's horse is still there, tethered up. It's not there all the time, I might add. It's just there when he goes out with that Varda caravan. Washed up horses in Parliament. Oh, you'd be surprised what's in our Parliament. I don't even watch it anymore, to be honest, Chris. I'm not political in the slightest. I used to do politics when I thought I could make a difference in the world, but now I realise that anything I say or do has no effect on anything. So I've stopped bothering anymore now. You think you just wash your hands of it, you get apathetic, don't you? Oh, God, the gypsies make a mess of everywhere. I wouldn't mind the gypsies. It's just the mess they leave behind. They're so untidy. Scruffy. I mean, they used to come on Tesco's car park when I lived in Prestwich. And the junk and the rubbish they leave behind. And they left a dog behind last time. A dog in a cage. And the last time they camped on Tesco's car park. We don't need AC. You counted 10 caravans, yeah. Yeah, like I say, if they're just kept passing through and they're just staying overnight, it's just the mess. They're just so messy. Somebody's walking upstairs with their hobnail boots on again. Oh, yeah, nappies are the worst, yeah. Somebody's coming downstairs, but it's not heavy enough to be out here. It's the dogs. Oh no, it might be Ian. Let me just look if it's Ian. I want to tell him about the internet if it's Ian. Oh, messages everywhere. Let me just see if it's Ian. Oh. La 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 la. No, he says he hasn't moved anything. He said he thinks my internet's in a dead spot. I might have to move it. How can I move it? He said he'll sort it tomorrow. Oh, right. Oh, I can't see anything here. Hiking and nature videos in the UK. Oh, we get loads of play. Where? Should live here. It's like Heathrow coming over. We live too near to the RAF. So we get, Chinooks, helicopters coming over and everything. We get Lily's Crochet and More. Zelda saying happy July the 1st. God, how many? I've got unread messages on Instagram. If it's somebody who wants to be my friend who says he's in the Navy, I don't want to know. Thank you. Why did he say, you are looking so lovely today? And I'm like, no, I'm not. So, I'm not naive. I'm not going to believe your junk. You know full well that they're not who they say they are, yeah. We're not near the airport here, Gail. We're near to the RAF. It's just up the road. You've been on it? Yeah, I'm still on. It's quite early yet for me. It's only... Oh, God, I can't see today. My eyes are terrible. It's 11 minutes past 11. I usually stay on till midnight. But I can't even have my music on when I get to bed tonight. Because my internet won't connect in my bedroom. It's always a bit dodgy in there anyway, but it's just not connecting at all now. Even Alexa was just spinning round red. You dropped off your laundry. I could do with it being warm here to dry my laundry tomorrow. It was very windy today, but I knew very well it wouldn't dry my washing, so I didn't bother putting it in. I usually wash on a Sunday or on a Tuesday. Tuesday. Anybody remember that lady that used to say, hello, it's Tuesday? I can't remember her name now. I haven't seen her for ages. It's so good that it can get washed, isn't it, Lydia? Yeah. Yeah, you're hoping to move very soon, Chris. I hope you get moved before the end of the summer. Maybe the air conditioner will work when you move, Chris. That's one thing we don't need here. I bought a fan last year. Not even put it on this year. I'm always buying things I never use. I bought it on a whim when it was really hot. And then I never put it on. Oh dear. I need to get up early on Monday. It might have been hot where you are, Gail, but it weren't hot where I am. I'm right next to the sea, and it blows a gale off the sea. Even on the hottest day, there's always the wind on the sea. So you cannot say ever that you're too warm. It might have been warm if I was indoor, in land. That's one thing I never thought about when I moved near the sea. Never thought about the cold wind all the time. In the winter, it's icy, it's bitter. It cuts your face in ribbons in the winter here. It is so cold. Oh, you're a gale, yeah. Well, stop blowing on Fleetwood, will you? It batters off the sea some days, absolutely batters. The other day I go to the dentist the other day, and there's a boating lake, and it's a flat little lake. It's nowhere near the sea, really. It's quite a few yards inland, and it was like choppy. It was like waves on this blinking boating lake. It's a model boating lake, I should say. So it's only very shallow. And it was absolutely blowing a gale up there. I wish I'd had my camera. I thought, I have never seen that ever. It's always been as flat as a pancake, even when it's been windy. No, it wasn't the dock. That was at Affinity. That's at the other end of Fleetwood. No, there's a little model boating lake on the seafront, and it's always flat as a pancake because it's not tidal or anything. But it was absolutely awful. No, it's funny, Affinity, it's always lovely and calm there, and it's always, well, not always sunny. I can't say that because I've been there when it's been raining, but they don't get the wind there. It's really calm. But where I live, oh boy. Even on the hottest day, you get wind. It's very seldom you can go up the seafront without your cardigan on. You know. Yeah, Affinity. It used to be called Freeport. Sadly, a lot of the shops are closed. It's not like it used to be. I'm going to find that green clock shad. I'm going to put a battery in it just for you. I miss it. It was very comforting. That little tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. Very comforting. I keep thinking I'm going to put it on my bedside table. you know, just to hear the little ticking. I like ticking. I was brought up with ticking clocks. I was brought up with a grandfather clock that used to chime. You wouldn't have liked that one, Shad. It used to go bong, bong. In the hall it was when I was living with my auntie. It's funny, I was talking to my cousin, my auntie's son, today, and he doesn't remember that clock. I remember it. It used to chime on the hour, I think it was, and I don't know whether it chimed on the quarter past and the half past, quarter to. Definitely chimed on the hour. And that was really noisy. It used to reverberate all around the hall. But the tick used to be a real pendulum tick, you know, tick, 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 tick. That was a real loud pendulum. It's surprising you do get used to it. It's very comforting. You've got musical clocks. There's a lady who comes on and she doesn't seem to record in that room anymore. She's called Cinnamon Stitches and she used to record in a room that was full of clocks. And they used to tweet and, you know, cuckoo and do all sorts of things, yeah. And she used to say people used to always be commenting about the clock. You would have never been able to watch her. She had a room full of these clocks. And they used to chime and cuckoo and I wanted a cuckoo clock at one time, but I never got one. Yeah, I'm going to find that clock. You've reminded me again. I know I've still got it because I found it somewhere. And I might put it next to my bed because it might make me go to sleep. You know, the ticking noise, yeah. Because I do actually find that comforting. I mean, you don't like it, Shad, but I just find the rhythmic. It's like when I used to have piano lessons and she used to have a metronome, if you know what one of those are, on top of the piano. It's like a little triangle thing, and it used to tick, tick, tick. Well, you wouldn't hear it if it was in my bedroom, Shad. My bedroom's not here. My bedroom's over the other side. So you definitely wouldn't hear it ticking in here. It would just be ticking next to me in my bed. Yes, I might look for it. I might find it. Because I find it very comforting. I like that here. Yeah, my piano teacher used to have a metronome. They're like they go like a pyramid, really. And this thing goes toot, 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 toot when you're playing the piano. Because you have to keep in time with the metronome, yeah. Yeah. I'm sure it was Cinnamon Stitches that used to have these clocks, all these clocks making. She must use a different room now because I don't remember hearing them. She used to say they were her mother's clocks or something. That's why she would never get rid of them. I'm sure it was Cinnamon Stitches. Because people used to complain about these ticking and tweeting and woohoo. And she said, no, I'm not moving, I'm not moving. Anyway, she must have moved, I think. You wouldn't like Big Ben then, would you, Shad? Boing! It reverberates all round London, Big Ben. Greetings, the word be true. We've got Shad on here. You're cooking, you're worn out today. You're cooking fish, have you been? You've been fishing. Shad's just hoping I'm going to find my ticking clock. I saw it the other day and I don't know where I saw it. I was looking for something else and I saw the clock. So my mind just registered. But I can't remember where it registered, where the clock was now. I used to have one that wasn't a clock. It was a weather vane. Don't know if you've ever had them. When it's sunny, the lady comes out. And then when it's going to rain, the guy comes out. Yeah. It wasn't a clock. It didn't tick or anything. But it used to tell you. But it wasn't really real because it only told you what the weather was like indoors, didn't it? You should have stuck it outside, really, to get it more accurate. You remember them, do you? There used to be a famous clock in London on top of one of the buildings that used to do that when it struck the hour. The man and the woman used to come out and go around in a circle. And they used to gather quite a crowd of like tourists, onlookers used to be standing there waiting for this thing to come out, you know. I don't know whether it's still there because I've not been in London for many a year. Yeah, I've not been to London for can't remember when. I couldn't walk there now. I know I've got my mobility scooter, but London's so big. You know, one charge on my little tiny scooter wouldn't be enough. It only does 7 miles, I think. That's not enough in London. I can remember every time I went to London, I used to walk my feet off. I'd obviously be wearing comfortable shoes, but oh my goodness me. So much of London. I know you can get on the underground and hop on and hop off and things, but oh, your feet used to hurt so bad, yeah. I literally pounded the pavements of London. I used to love going though, go down to the museums, Science Museum, Victoria and Albert, the Art Gallery. I remember when I was a girl, we used to have the steam engines that ran, you know, the rides in the fun fairs, and they used to play music. They were steam things, yeah. Oh, there's a program about the underground. What, London's 244 miles away. I wouldn't want to go now, it's too busy for me. I love cats. I love dogs. I love cats. Yeah. I've always had a cat up to the last one passing away. I've always had a cat. Can't have a cat without Rosie. She chases everything. It would be a cat's life. Well, it would have a dog's life. Never mind about a cat's life. I can't introduce a kitten to her. I'm going to open my drinks with my shark or whatever it is, dolphin. Came from St Ives many years ago. A lot of places I'd love to go back to. I can't now because I can't walk them. They're so hilly. You know, like Whitby's all hills and St Ives is all hills. And even Skiathos in the Greek islands is all cobbles and hills. And I just can't do them anymore. So I'm limited with where I can go. It has to be somewhere flat these days. Even Torquay's hilly. A lot of the prettiest places are uphill. The undergrounds in London are all right. You can't go on an escalator and stand still. Everybody walks on the escalators, or they run up and down the escalators. So if you're like a tourist and you're like standing there, you know, they're just like banging into you, pushing into you. You can't just stand still. You've got to carry on walking, even on an escalator. Everybody in London's always in a terrific hurry. They're always rushing, rushing, rushing. Hi, Magali. Yeah, I used to quite like the underground. Paris is fun. The undergrounds and overgrounds there. They're quite good actually in Paris because you buy one ticket and it'll last you all day. And I mean, I don't know whether you can do it on the London Underground, but you buy a ticket in Paris and you can go anywhere all day and every day on this ticket. You know, you can use it as many times as you want, which is great if you're a tourist because you just keep hopping on them and hopping off them and on and off and on and off, and you don't keep paying. That's why everybody uses them. Talking about a school project, I was going to the dentist on Monday, and I presume it was something to do with geography. But there was about 5 teachers on the seafront in different places, all with about 15, 20 teenagers with them. And they all had sort of like steel measuring things. You know, they're supposed to take measurements. Somebody stands somewhere, somebody says, geo, whatever it is. They were all like Jedi warriors, you know, fighting each other with these. Now, there was one young teacher, and he had them sit down. But the other teachers, they were running rings around the other teachers. There's one young woman there, she couldn't control them at all. They were all over the shop. I don't know what they were measuring. They were up on the beach somewhere measuring something. Must have been something to do with geography, I think, yeah. Oh, it's probably much worse now, Gail, actually. More people are using them, and I mean, it's been a long time since I went on the underground. I hold my hand up, yeah. I was more used to our tram system, which was really, really good in Manchester. The trams in Blackpool, which are the oldest type of um, trams, they're pretty rubbish here, actually. Not the actual tram, but the fact they don't go anywhere. Teaching teenagers, oh God, no. I said they were all fighting with these things, whatever they were doing. And they were all over the seafront. You couldn't get past them. I had to keep stopping because they were like running backwards and forwards across across like that. I'm like, oh. I mean, in the good old days, they would have been controlled, but now you can't say anything to them. You can't speak to them these days, yeah. Oh my God, 18, doesn't it make you feel old? My son's 54, makes me feel absolutely ancient. Doesn't seem 2 minutes since he was 18. My 18's getting to the age where you worry about them more. I hate to tell you that, Nathan. You've got a birthday. 21 again, Gail. I've got a son 54, which is a bit really ridiculous when I'm only 36, isn't it? Oh, your son's sick. Oh, God, don't. Makes me feel old enough knowing my son's 54. I tried to lie and say I was a child bride, you know. I was a child bride, you see. I wasn't. Do you remember that programme? Well, if you're in England, you might, called Butterflies with Wendy Craig. And she met this bloke and she said, oh, yes, my sons are 12 and 14 when they were 22 and 24, yeah. Oh, yeah, we'll sing to you. We'll all sing to you when it's your birthday, girl. If you're unlucky, I'll sing to you. You may want to leave the room or turn the sound down. 22nd. I can't look at my calendar to find out what day that is. My calendar's still on June. Yeah, if anybody asks your sons or your brothers, yeah. I wish I could say that when I'm out with my son. My son's been bald from quite a young age, so it made him look a lot older. And when I was in my 40s, I could pass for a good 10 years younger. And we went out for a meal one time, and the waiter said, would your husband like a drink? Like, what would your husband like to drink? And he went, it's my mum. It was so funny. I was flattered, he was insulted, yeah. I can't get away with it now because I look my age now, but for a long time I never looked my age, yeah. Your eldest cat's 12. We've got young guns now. We've got an 18-month-old and a 2-year-old. God, my eldest great-grandchild's 17. Great-grandchild. 17. Yes, 17-year-old for a great-grandchild. The others are smaller. I should just mention the others, shouldn't I? That are 6, 5 and 4. I shouldn't mention the two eldest at 17 and 16. Man, it's like, well, my niece shocked me. You know, I was thinking my niece has been about 35 or something. And she's nearly 50, I think, or she's 50. Oh, if I'd have known now what I knew when I was younger, I would never have got married. Well, I might have got married, but not to him. We're always full of what we would have done, but I suppose we were just young and silly. You think you know it all when you're 17, don't you? I must have been living in cloud cuckoo land when I was younger. I had an idealistic version in my head of like marriage, and of course it wasn't. It wasn't that way. I wasn't very worldly wise, I don't think, when I got married. I was a bit dumb. I just thought it would be absolutely wonderful and the marriage would be just like my parents and I'd be happy ever after. And oh boy, was I ever wrong. But we're not to know these things, are we? The only thing I got out of my marriage was my son, so I got something out of it, didn't I? I was very happy in my teens, yeah. I was very happy up to being 20, 21. And then it all went pear-shaped. I had a very happy childhood, really. I've got to say that. Some people are saying, oh, I hated school. Oh, I hated this. I was bullied and all that. I can't remember any of that. I had a very happy childhood. I was one of the fortunate ones. I'm born in the generation where we could just wander off and, you know, go away out for the day when we was kids and just take a bottle of water, and a bag of crisps and you'd be gone all day. We're lucky, really, that we didn't have all the worries and the problems that today's kids have. I mean, the only bullying we used to get was people used to call you names sometimes. They'd make little poems up of your name and that. Tease you. It was more teasing than bullying when I was young. I don't remember any bullying. Not nasty bullying like there is now. You'd always get some kid who'd call you fatso or something, or specky four eyes was another one if you wore glasses. But, it's just nothing like, you'd have an odd scuffle between two boys in the playground, but there was never all this punching and stabbing and all that goes on nowadays. Got you windy. I used to be called Jambutti. Well, my name was Janet, yeah, and my maiden name was Buckley. So they used to call me Jambutti. You know what kids are like. But I mean, it wasn't really nasty. It was just like a play on words. Like other kids have nicknames and stuff. My brother used to call me Joey. After those guys that talk and chatter and carry on. He used to call me Joey. I've even got a card signed saying Happy Christmas, Joey. And my mum used to call me Lady Jane. Yeah. You read to your boy, yeah. Yeah, Lady Jane. My mum used to call me that. She used to, when I was getting a bit uppity, she used to call me uppity. If I said I want this or I want that, and she'd say, oh, you're getting all uppity, Lady Jane. Who do you think you are? So that was my nickname. As I say, my brother used to call me. It was either Joey or JC. Don't know where that came from. Or another one of my brother's nicknames was Jebazel, because I'm Jeb. Instead of saying Jezebel, he used to call me Jebazel. Yeah. He called her Mona Lisa. Yeah. I really can't remember anybody's really names. I suppose people did have nicknames. But as I say, we didn't get the bullying nicknames, the nasty names or anything, you know. You know, there was a boy in our class who was called Tony Lees. We used to say, Tony Lees, chips and peas. Still remember that. He probably never liked it. Yeah, we had nicknames. My son's nickname was Tids when he was little, and now he's called Pingu. All the blokes at the bike club know him as Pingu, like the penguin Pingu. Where the heck that came from, I don't know. Pingu. Yeah, there was none of the internet bullying, was there? We never got subjected to any of that. I mean, now some of the girls are just as nasty as the boys now. You know, when they pick on some child, don't they? Send them horrible messages via the internet and that. Oh God, you know, I'd want to just go and kill them all if it was my child that was being bullied like that. I remember a girl much older than Harry and bullying him when he was at school, but I went round to her house. Luckily, her mother wasn't like one of these modern mums. You know, not my girl, not my this. Wasn't one of them. She just yelled her downstairs, saying, "Have you done this to that?" And she's going, and she gave her such a wallop. Don't you be doing any more like that. I don't want to hear no more about that. I mean, usually nowadays, I had a friend who, her kids, oh, yeah, and she used to be always at school. Such a buddy, call my girl this or call my girl that, or the teacher said that to my child. And I'm going, yeah, you know, but come on, we're talking about your kids here. And she's going, what do you mean? What do you mean? I said, knowing your kids, they probably deserved it. But she was always up at school moaning to the teachers about what somebody had said to her little precious children. Her precious children were worse than anybody's kids in the world. You know. But she was blind to their faults, you know, she just couldn't see it. And her daughters were little brats, you know. Oh, oh my goodness, you nearly saw me tonsil. Well, I don't have any tonsils, but you nearly saw what I didn't have then. Oh gosh, I shall be going off before the troll comes off. He was a nuisance, wasn't he, last week? Oh, well, I'm really tired today. I don't know why. I had a long enough sleep last night, but whether or not I had a good sleep, I don't know. It's lying day tomorrow, sleeping. We always lie in on a Sunday. Well, lying till at least 10 o'clock. I never get up before 10 on a Sunday. Even if I get the call in the bathroom, I do that and then I get back in bed again. I haven't been as busy on YouTube this week as I usually am. I just wasn't in the mood because of that missing parcel. It just upset me so much. I didn't even feel like making any videos. I really need to take those photographs of those dresses. Ready to put them on eBay. I haven't sorted any more wool out. I've sold all the wool except for one lot that nobody seems to want, and I don't know why. Just got one lot left. But all the others has been sold. All for a lot less than what I paid for them. If none of you bought it, you're all mad because it was really, really cheap. I might put some more up when I get around to it. You've dug out your needles. Oh, you got a doll sweater. Well, start small. You can work your way up. I haven't knitted anything for a bit. I was supposed to be knitting this, but I started crocheting it instead. I couldn't find a pattern in the shed. I've got dozens, but I just couldn't find one. And the ones I found on the internet were all top down on circular needles, and that was the end of that. I don't do them. I could have looked on Etsy and got a vintage pattern, I suppose, but I know I've got patterns in the shed. I just haven't been out there to have a look. I need to make another video, hopefully showing some of my sweaters that I still got, yeah. See if anybody still wants to buy anything. Oh gosh, yeah, you've got the smoke from the fires, haven't you, in Canada? Over here, we've got the moors. There's always some nutcase setting that on fire. The worst culprits are those disposable barbecues that they buy in the shops. They don't put them out properly and they leave them and then they burn everywhere. Yeah, it's awful when you have to unravel something, Lydia, but it's better to unravel it. At least it's better with like knitting and crocheting, isn't it? If you cut something out in sewing and you make a mess of it, it's kind of wasted because you can't really alter it. But at least with knitting and crocheting, if it all goes pear-shaped, you can undo it and make it into something else, can't you? You've not wasted it. You've wasted your time, yeah, but you've not wasted your... But if you make a mistake when you're cutting a dress out or something, then you're stuck, aren't you? Can't do an awful lot with it, except use the material to make something smaller. No, I'm not. If something isn't working with me with crocheting, I will pull it back. I don't like doing it, but I will do it. Because I'd rather do that than carry on and it be a mess and doesn't fit. You know, if I'm looking at it and thinking that fit isn't right on that, you know for a fact you cannot make it right. If it's looking wrong, it is wrong, isn't it? You know, when you make something and you're thinking, oh, it's coming out way too big. or way too small, yeah. I think crochet's easier to adapt than knitting because it's in one piece and you can keep measuring it to yourself. Whereas knitting, especially top down or circular, where it's all scrunched up on a needle, you get right down here, don't you? Then you divide for the arms and that, and then you realise it just doesn't fit anywhere. It doesn't fit right around the neck or anything. And then you're stuck because you can't alter it without taking the whole thing back. Whereas with crochet, you can, you just take the hook out of it, don't you? And you can try it on as you're going along, yeah. I mean, knitting's not so bad if you're doing it the old-fashioned way, like the back, the front, and two sleeves, because you can tell, can't you, whether it's going to be too big or not. But I think top down is a nightmare because you don't really know how the neck fits until you've done enough for it to try it over your neck. I know so many people who do knitting and they finish the jumper and they go, oh, but the neck doesn't fit right, or up here, and it's not enough shape in it. And I mean, a lot of the modern sweaters, really, the necklines are shocking because they're casting it on from the top down. And there isn't that proper shaping like you get with you. When you're knitting or crocheting upwards, you can get the shape of the neck. When you're starting top down, it's very difficult. It used to be mine when I was young, but then I swapped over to mostly 90% crochet now. I do knit and I can knit, but it's slow to me. You can have the sweater done while you're looking at knitting. You're knitting, 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 and you're like, if you're lucky, you like get halfway up the back. With a raglan sleeve, what I used to do, Lydia, was when you start your raglan, instead of shaping every other row, I used to do a few rows where I shaped every 4 rows. On all the pieces, of course, not just on one piece. And it made that raglan just that little bit longer, you know, because you've got like a few extra rows there before you, and it doesn't show when you sew it all up. Because I don't like tight armholes. Knitting does hurt me worse than crochet. My shoulder starts to really hurt with knitting. I can only do so much. I used to be able to knit all day long, but ever since I damaged my shoulder years ago, it's never been quite right since then. And I can knit for a little while. Yeah, you want to try it, Lydia. Obviously, make sure you mark down what you've done so you can remember to do the same thing on the sleeves and the back and the front. Yeah, about 3 times I used to do it. Say about 3 times. Decrease and knit 3 rows instead of knitting one. Well, purl and knit, and then do another decrease, 3 more rows, another decrease, 3 more rows, and then I would change to doing every other row. It just gives you that extra couple of inches at the bottom of the raglan, and nobody sees it. It's under your armpit. I don't think I've seen a few top-down raglans, and they just don't fit right. They just seem to bunch somehow or other. I've just never seen one that sits right somehow or another. And also, you need to do short rows to get the neck the right shape if you're doing a top-down raglan sweater. You definitely need some short rows along the line. because you need more rows on the back than you do on the front to get that shape in. This is what I mean, is a lot of them are like straight across, they're like choking people. And then they don't get the fit right on the raglan where they divide for the arms. And I look at some of them and I think, oh God, they just don't fit right at all. I mean, other people say, oh, I don't want all those side seams to stitch up. I don't want to sew all those raglans up. But they fit so much nicer. I can use, YouTube, but it depends what they're making. I mean, sometimes most of the people who make videos on how-tos are American. And it isn't a question of me not understanding how they're doing things. I do. It's a question that I can't get the yarn the right thickness for what they're making. So mine obviously turns out differently. Slightly circular ones, I had to improvise because when I got to where she stopped and broke for the armholes, it wouldn't have fitted a child, it wasn't big enough because my yarn was so much thinner than hers. And also, must be a much tighter crocheter than half of the ones who do tutorials. They like about 5 rows to the armhole where I need about 20. I don't realise I crochet tightly or something, but I obviously don't crochet as loosely as some of these tutorials, yeah. One of my friends at the library is making a lovely, like a mandala thing. She's putting it on a big frame, so she's making a wall hanging. Very, very pretty, very intricate. It's crochet, but it's very intricate. She follows intricate patterns much better than I. Mind you, having said that, she's about 25 years younger than me, and I suppose I, didn't have the problem with patterns when I was 25 years younger. Your brain goes a little bit slow when you get older. I can still do things, but I'm like, I have to read it like stitch by stitch by, because I can't remember what it said at the beginning of the row. I used to be dab hand. Yeah, I forget. If it says this, that, the other, and I read it and I go, yeah, right. And then I go to my crochet and I go, what did it say? Did it say this, that, and the other? Yeah. Shad, somebody's asking for you. Where are you? Your fishing lady's asking where you are. And I have to write everything down now. If I'm doing something with a cable pattern or anything, if I'm knitting, I have to write everything down. Otherwise, I can't remember if I'm on row 4 or row 6 or whatever. I mean, at one time I would knit errands and not have to write things down. But now, brain fade, isn't it, when you get older? Brain fade. That's my excuse. I'm sticking to it, brain fade. My friend says it's because we've got so much information in our brains, they're full. So there's no room for any new stuff. It's full up with what we already know. It's true though, isn't it? You can hark back to things from the past, and my pet bug is names. Cannot remember names. I know them, and I know their face, but can I put a name to them? I can tell you most of the names of my school kids' friends, that were like when I was 5 and 6. Oh my goodness. I'm glad we don't have I don't have to go upstairs anymore, because a number of times when I lived on other house, I'd go to the top of the stairs and forget why I'd gone. And you're thinking, I've just struggled to climb these stairs. because I did, you know, it was like one step at a time. It used to take me forever to do stairs, you know, because of my problems. So I'd get to the top of the stairs and I'd think, what on earth have I come for? Then I'd go inside and sit on the bed and see if I could remember why I'd gone up there, you know. Then you go in the bathroom because you think, well, I might as well while I'm up here. Yeah. Then you go downstairs, never quite remembering what it was you went for. I mean, I had a bit of a bad memory when I was younger, you know, had my minutes, but oh, these days, I don't write things down, you know. They say you should write things down because if you write things down, then you remember that you've written them down and it stays in your mind, yeah. Yeah, the only sport Shad does is fishing. I don't even do that, Shad. I don't like any sports. I'm not a sporty person. I don't watch any sports on the telly at all. I can't honestly say there's one, you know, one sport that I like. You know, that I would literally watch. I don't watch Wimbledon. I don't watch the tennis. Definitely don't watch football. Don't watch motor racing, cycling. Definitely don't watch snooker. Like watching paint drying it. Don't watch cricket. There's nothing I like. I've got an itchy nose. Yeah, yeah. And as for gyms, I can't understand how people get excited about going to a gym, walking on the road to nowhere, doing all those press ups and bench presses and that. I'm like, how boring is this? Let me home. I went a couple of times because he said it would be better for me. And I'm like, walking on the road to nowhere, yeah, pedaling on the way to nowhere, you know. How boring is that? Oh, you're doing a diamond shape using trebles. Is that English trebles or UK trebles? Because UK trebles are massive, aren't they? Oh, they sent me to the gym because he said it would be better for my knees and everything. Oh, I hated every minute of it. I just don't find. I mean, if I could swim or do things like that, I would probably find. I used to do water aerobics but the classes here are like 8 o'clock in the morning. So I'd have to be up there. I'd have to set off from here at 7:15. There's no way in the world I'm doing that just to go for water aerobics. If the class was at 10 o'clock, say, but the thing is, the kids start going in, they have to do these things before the children start coming and using the pool. I mean, the children, when we sit in the cafe, They come in on a coach, you know, the children, for the swimming lessons and stuff. So I suppose the water aerobics has to be early, before the kids come in. My shoulder is hurting. I'm talking about shoulders hurting. Got to put this down now. I won't swim in the sea here. Well, we've got all that mess in the sea at the moment. They've had an accidental sewerage discharge in the sea that's still not cleared up, because they're saying don't let your dogs go in and swim and all that. So there's definitely no way I would swim in this sea. There's a crack in a sewage pipe somewhere that's pumping loads of sugar into the sea. Apparently it's got E. coli in it. But apart from that, it's so cold. I wouldn't want to go in cold water. The only water I go into is when I go abroad. And even then I only paddle. I don't swim. I only swim in a swimming pool. Oh, dearie me. Oh, I'm cold. I've gone cold. I've gone cold, people. Yeah, that's the only water I use. Sit under a warm shower. Definitely not a cold one. What time is? Oh, it's gone past midnight. I'm going to be going. I'm tired and I didn't realise it was past midnight. You know what I'm like Cinderella. Got to go when it's midnight. And I've just finished my row. My bed is calling to me. I've done a bit. That's my front. I've done the back. That's the front. So I've done now. It's my own pattern. I haven't got a pattern. I'll put that up there out the way of the doggies. Yeah, it's just a winter sweater. Started now doing the winter sweaters, yeah. Right, thank you all for your company and thank you for my 42 thumbs up. And I'll keep your fingers crossed that my parcel gets to my lady. Yeah, wherever WA is, that's where she is. And it doesn't come back to me. Can always tell I'm tired. Look at the eyes. My mum could always tell when I was tired. You know, you're a little girl. She said, you need to go to bed. And you're going, no, I'm not tired. No, I'm not tired. My mum used to say, I can always tell you're tired by looking at your eyes. And I can do it now with me. I can think, look at my eyes. They are closing. They are tired, yeah. Oh, right. Oh, thank you very much. Word be true. I keep forgetting your name. I'm sorry. I'm bad with names. I forget my own great-grandchildren's names. So, you know, please don't take offence if I can't remember yours. Yeah. Right. Hopefully I will make a video in the week saying the parcel's got there. Oh, please, I pray. Please, I hope I am not making a video saying the parcel's on its way back to me. Right, people. I hope you have a lovely, lovely weekend and I will speak to you all really soon. Bye now. Bye, everybody. Bye now.